something called Intersection, which talks a little bit about something that's currently going on in culture and then how it is that it intersects with Jesus. Before we get to today's message from Joel, I thought I'd share a little bit of a story that actually I finished telling at camp this week. I need to apologize. I need to ask forgiveness right away off the top. Every year, family camp comes around, and we kind of do some announcements about it. And then every year while I'm there, we have dynamic encounters with God. Phenomenal things. We saw healings happen in people's lives this week. We saw people filled with the Holy Spirit. We saw people who came in depressed and discouraged leave so over the moon on top. And I realized, while I was there, I realized we do not do a good enough job encouraging people to get to family camp. It was just so good to get together with a variety of believers from all over North America and have a full 4 or 5 days where you're just seeking God, encouraging one another. I want to tell you right now, for those of you who are even just a little bit stirred by this, pull out your phone, break out your calendar, put in August, the first week of August, I'm going to family camp. You just don't even realize what it is that you're missing out on. It has evolved into such a beautiful time of people seeking God and having fun together. It was just a blast. While we were there, though, I don't know how many of you noticed 2 weeks ago in Eno, there was an alert from WildSight. It turns out that black bears have been breaking into cars. Black bears have been prying the doors off of vehicles. They smell something inside of it. They go inside the vehicle. They're scratching at the seats and wrecking everything. And so they wanted you to be aware. Don't leave food in your car. Also, while we were at camp, one night we're sitting with Joel and Dee, and we're sitting outside of our trailer hanging out, and Dee is like, they'd announced that there might be black bears in the area. Everybody should watch out. You know, where you hear, whenever you go somewhere, anywhere camping, you hear, there might be black bears in the area. Be careful to everybody. And Dee is like, it was like 11:30 at night or something like that. And Dee said, okay, I'm going to the bathroom now, Joel. If you hear me screaming really loud, realize that a black bear is attacking me. You come over and kick it in the nads. She runs off to the bathroom, and I'm like, maybe I'll go and check on Eve. It's so beautiful there at night. I'm looking up at the stars, and I'm walking along and just taking in the view. There's something about going to spaces where there isn't any light pollution, and you can just see the array of stars mixed amongst the trees. And I'm just so enthralled as I'm looking up at this beauty that God has created. And then I see somebody out of the corner of my eye walking near the sanctuary. And so I look over and see what it is that they're doing. And then they're like digging in the garbage. And I'm like, what the heck are they doing? Why are they digging in the garbage? The meal was phenomenal. Why are they hungry? And then I realize, they're wearing all black. And they're very hairy. And they're this high at the shoulder. This massive black bear, male, huge. One of the biggest black bears I've ever seen in my life. And it's literally like me to my mom away. So I'm like, hey, bear. Just letting them know that I'm there. Kind of like stops digging in the garbage, looks up, sniffs me out, goes back down. I'm like, hey, bear. How you doing, bear? And then I'm like, Dee, there really is a black bear. She comes out, and she's like, what? She looks, and she's like, ah! Runs back to the tent. Then another person comes out from the trailer that they were in. What's up, black bear? And Joel stumbles over. He's like, oh, that's a big boy. And I want to share something with you that I felt like might be, it was for somebody when we were at camp, and I feel like it might be somebody here as well. I feel like sometimes in terms of the battlefield of the mind, in terms of us having thoughts that come into our brain, unwanted thoughts where we're maybe stressing about something, or we're worrying about something, or there's some anxiety going on, there's some stinking thinking going on inside of your head. There's a bear digging around in the garbage of your mind, and he keeps dragging out this garbage that was there before. I want to read 1 Peter 5, verse 7. Give all your worries and cares to God, for he cares about you. Stay alert. Stay alert. Watch out for your great enemy, the devil. He prowls around like a roaring lion, or black bear, but this says roaring lion. He prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. Stand firm against him and be strong in your faith. Stand firm against him. At one point, we're watching the bear, and all I had to say was, "All right, bear, get going." And he listened, got up, started moving across this giant sanctuary, got up, moved off, walked off. Get going. I think some of you don't realize that you have an authority and a power over the lion that is rattling around inside of your brain, or the bear that's digging up garbage inside of your brain. That you can stand firm. If you stand firm against it, you speak that ugly thought, that repetitive thought, that thought that won't go away, that worry that you know is not good for you. You recognize that you have an authority from God, and you speak to that thing. And watch if that thought won't walk away. Remember the beginning of this verse where it's talking about the thief, the lion that is roaring, is prowling around, says, "Give all of your worries and cares to God, for he cares about you." Remember that. When you're wrestling with something in your brain, when the garbage is being drawn up inside of your brain, remember that God cares for you. And he has given you an authority and a power over what it is that you accept in your mind. Own that. Speak clearly to the bear that's in there. Get out of here. Go on. Watch what God might do. This is where kind of culture intersects with Jesus. Yeah?